project that I feel every programmer should create. I said create for a reason because sometimes I feel that we don't know the power that we have when we can program. So this video right here is going to show you the power, because let's be real, what programmers are doing right now, it was considered witchcraft, it was considered witchery, whatever you call it, 50, 60 years ago. This video right here is going to show you the different things you can do with programming. I would advise you to watch it to the end because every point and every project we discuss here, there is a reason behind it. They really actually look great on your CV, and also they make you a better programmer. So you know what? Let's get started, guys. The first one is creating your own GUI application. Now, what is a GUI application? For those that don't know, a GUI application, the GUI stands for graphical user interface. And it's an application that has buttons, windows, and a lot of widgets that actually are very user friendly, and they also interact your users. So this is a really great project to create as a programmer, because most of the time when you start off in programming, you deal more with the command line, you deal more with the terminal. But when you create a GUI, you get that feel, you get that nice application that you can see the visual effect, which is really great. And that's why it's my number one on this list. In the description below, you'll see some of the GUI projects that I created, so you can start with those if you're really interested in that. But yeah, let's get to the next one. The next one is creating a project where you need to deal with an API. For me, this is a must. If you're in programming, I don't care if it's JavaScript, C++, you have to deal with APIs. And if you want to actually get jobs in this field, that is a prerequisite. You need to be able to handle data. So what is an API? For those who don't know, an API is an application programming interface. And this application programming interface is the connection between a computer or between computer programs. So why this is important is that you get different data. And I have a series where I created different projects on Google Map API. And believe me, it's really cool. I got so much satisfaction from doing those projects. For sure, check the description down below and you'll see those projects too. But yeah, this is really something that I feel is a must. I always tell other people who are getting into this field, the moment you get your hands dirty with all the basics of whatever programming language you're learning, it's good to start doing something with APIs. So this is really just the basics of it. For sure, get more into it, create your own applications with it. There's so many APIs you can use, guys. You can use the Netflix API, you can use the YouTube API, you can use the Google Maps API, you can use the Google API. So there's so many APIs that you can actually deal with. You can even create some graphical user interface with those APIs. And that's the thing, you can connect all these projects together and they give you so much satisfaction. So that's why API is second on this list. Now let's get to the third one. Now, the next one is actually creating a game. This is for the gamers, but yeah, this is kind of a game or a puzzle. I don't know which way to put it. I think it's both. It's a puzzle and a game, or maybe puzzles or games. But yeah, tell me guys in the description below, is a puzzle a game or is a game a puzzle? So what you do here is you create your own sudoku, and you can even go further and create a sudoku solver. But let's start with sudoku first. What is sudoku? Sudoku is a very popular puzzle game, and the goal of sudoku is to basically fill a 9 times 9 grid with numbers so that each row and column, which is 3 times 3, you know what? There's no need of explaining Sudoku. You know what Sudoku is. But basically, yeah, you can see it right there. If you don't know what Sudoku is, check it out. Try and play it. It's really nice. At one point, I had a Sudoku thing where I was playing a lot of Sudoku, but happily, that phase was not more than a year. I don't know if that's too long. But what we do here is you create your own Sudoku solver. And it's very easy. You can use whatever programming language you want. I would advise you to use Python because I love Python, but you can also use JavaScript, and I do love JavaScript too. Those are my two, yeah, programming languages. What you do basically is that you use this Pygame module, and this Pygame module will actually give you a graphical user interface. Now, what you do is you use Pygame to create the board. You construct a 9 times 9 grid, then you fill the board with default numbers. What you do next is you assign a specific key for each operation and listen for it. And after that, you integrate the backtracking algorithm to it, and that way you can actually solve it. This is really great. I know a lot of people will tell you to do snake game, and that is also a very good shout, but if you ask me, and yeah, you're listening to me right now, Sudoku is the thing. Do Sudoku and create it. You'll see you will learn so much from it. It's an amazing game, very logical game, and yeah, that is for sure a game that I feel that every programmer should try and create. Now, the fourth project that I feel every programmer should try out is something related to computer networking. And this is really important because computer networking is what powers everything we're doing right now. It's how you're listening to me, and it's so powerful and so interesting. I think everyone has always had that question of, oh, how does the internet work? Well, if you don't know how the internet works, I think you should do a project that has to do with computer networking. Let me give you ideas. You could easily create a chat. So you basically just create a chat, and with Python, you can use the socket. You can also use multi-threading if you want to make it more than one, like a chat room. And this is really, really cool. And this is just one idea. You could also do an FTP server where you have your own dedicated server where you can store your files and all that. That's also a very good thing to do. And why this is so good is sometimes we get too reliant on Google and using Google Cloud and using Dropbox, and you forget you can actually create these things by yourself. In the description below, I'll also leave projects that I've created on this channel that are related to computer networking, and I will be creating more. Now let's get to the next one. The next one is building a project with Raspberry Pi or a microcontroller. So, what is a microcontroller? A microcontroller is basically a computer. A microcontroller is that. It's a small computer that has everything that your big computer has, but it has them in smaller bits. Creating a project with a microcontroller is really, really cool. There's so many things you could do. You could connect your microcontroller to a breadboard where you can do so many things like switch on LED lights. You could program it, or you could even create a small mini fan with it. So many things you can do with it. You being able to actually use a microcontroller looks good on your CV. Now, the next project we're going to talk about, and this is the last one, is you creating a project with machine learning, artificial intelligence, and this is a growing industry. And I feel that the bigger it gets, the more it will be used, because naturally the smarter our computers get, the more the programmers who are programming the computer have to use what is making those computers smart. I don't know if that made sense to you. Sometimes it's good to rewind if it doesn't make sense. You can create so many different projects with machine learning, like a stock price prediction using machine learning. Down in the description below, you'll see some projects that I actually created with machine learning. You could also even create a house price prediction using machine learning, credit card fraud detection with machine learning. That's also a great project to do. So there's so many things you can do in machine learning. But those who don't know what machine learning is basically the study of computer algorithms that improve automatically through experience. So when you give these algorithms data, they improve. They're basically learning. That's why the name is machine learning. So yeah, guys, that's it. And hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. These projects are really cool projects. Take your time with them, learn, and also sometimes this kind of projects is good to do them on your own. It's always good to actually get a reference like the videos that I put in the description below. You can watch them and then after create something yourself, because that's the way you really, really learn. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're new because I have a lot of content coming your way. And I'm going to wrap this up and I'll see you all on the next one.